questions?
I have I'm from the town of New Hope, and we have the proud distinction of having the landowner that is given the highest percentage increase in his permit to pump. So George, I noted that somebody commented that Gordondale Farms' new pumping limits will lower a tributary of the Tomorrow River 11% and drop Myers Lake by 5 inches. Is that the way you understand it?
And my memory's a little fuzzy on this right now, but when DNR did its evaluation of that well and initially denied it, my recollection is, give or take, that was the ballpark of their calculation, what the diversion from the Tomorrow would be and what the lowering of water levels would be. So it's somewhere in there. The important point is that that was originally denied, and because of the Attorney General's decision and DNR adopting it that Carl talked about, that permit was a given, it was granted.
So this is part of the increase statewide from 1.3 billion gallons to 2.4 billion gallons in this calendar year. Is that an approximate figure?
Yes. Carl, are you remembering that?
So what we may be referring to is in Wisconsin reviewed 41, I think, permits. So one of the things that the Attorney General's opinion did, as just mentioned, there were some wells that had been denied that came back and were granted. The other thing that the Attorney General's opinion said is if there are any restrictions that violate this opinion, they have to be stripped off. And Clean Wisconsin went back, and like I said, if memory serves, they looked at 41 permits, people who had come back to the DNR asking for those restrictions to be removed, and the effect of that was to increase the pumping in the Central Sands by 1 billion gallons.
It is not just the Central Sands. There's a couple of, it's mostly the Central Sands, but not entirely so.
So when I and other people have called our local representatives, the answer you get is, relating to the public trust doctrine, is, well, that's the DNR. I, as a legislature, can do nothing about that. But when you point out to them the track record of your party, but I guess what I'm saying is their talking points are very slick at this point. So any thoughts on how we go back at that?
I can give some foundation on at least the legal aspect. I'm not a politician, I'm not a lobbyist, but whenever I've been at the Capitol with lobbyists, I marvel at how they can live that existence.
And I am a lobbyist.
I marvel at Bill. So here's the thing. The public trust doctrine, whenever you're doing a legal analysis, you always start with the Constitution, whatever the issue happens to be. Is there something, at least when you're dealing with government, is there something in the Constitution that addresses this? Is it freedom of speech? Is it freedom of association? Is it the right to bear arms? Whatever it happens to be. And in this case, we start with the foundation of the public trust doctrine in Article 9, Section 1 of the Wisconsin Constitution. And basically, the way that's been interpreted and applied, and this public trust doctrine is not unique to Wisconsin. It exists in virtually, if not literally, every state east of the Mississippi River. Is that the public trust is not self-executing. It is incumbent upon the legislature to ensure that the public trust is maintained. And the legislature does that by delegating that authority to someone in the executive branch to administer it, and then providing the funding that's necessary to administer it. So when you have a legislature say, oh, that's DNR's issue, not mine, they are dead wrong. That is fundamentally false. And it is, the case law is very clear. The legislature has that duty. One of many flaws with the Attorney General's result-oriented opinion is that the Attorney General said DNR, with respect to conditions in wells, cumulative impacts, things that are necessary to protect our surface waters, the Attorney General said, DNR, you don't have that authority. Well, that sort of begs the question that the Attorney General ignored, which is, who does? Somebody has to. The legislature is required to give it to somebody. And so if the Attorney General had looked at this honestly and came to that conclusion as to what the statute means, he would have turned back to the legislature and said, there's a gap here. You're missing your front tooth. You better put something in there that gives somebody this responsibility.
And the other thing that I would say that I think makes that kind of an argument specious is in the last several years, and just recently, unfortunately, the state legislature has thrown gas on this fire. I mean, in passing the high cap well bill, that is going to create massive conflict amongst users, which doesn't have to be there. And they've done that intentionally. So, to then turn around and say, not my job, is really disingenuous at best. And the other thing that that makes me really sad, having worked in this area for 30 years, is, as the county executive said, there is a solution to this. It's not like we don't have enough water writ large. I mean, there may be some very specific areas where you've got very specific problems. But generally, I am absolutely convinced from my experience, if you did actually force everyone to come together, we could work it out. Everybody's not going to get everything they want, and not all the time.